Hey everybody, I just finished another book in the original Fear Street series. This is Haunted. This is a book that I've been wanting to read for quite a while. I've had it on my TBR for probably 3 years. Probably more than that. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I was blessed to buddy read this with a good friend of mine. And yeah, the story is about Melissa. It starts off with her in bed, and she wakes up because she hears something scraping against the window, and she starts screaming. Her parents come in there to check on her, and it turns out it's just a tree scraping against the window. She's really freaked out because apparently there is this guy going around called the Fear Street Prowler, and he's breaking into people's houses and I guess stealing stuff. And it's really scary for her. Her dad says, "I have something for you, to protect yourself in case anything like that happens. We're not here," and he awards her a gun. Yeah. After this, we learn that Melissa and her family, they're pretty rich, really well off, and all that fun stuff. Her dad awards her a brand new car. And yeah, so the next day she's driving home, or driving somewhere, and she starts hearing this voice saying her name, like really whispering it, and the car begins to get really cold, and the car starts veering off to the side, and starts going crazy. And yeah, so she gets out after a while or whatever and tells her dad about it, so he carries it to the mechanic shop. The next day, they're at a birthday party, and she goes into this room and finds her presents unwrapped. She doesn't know what's going on until that night she's in bed, and she sees like a shadow of a person in her room, and he comes out, and he introduces himself as Paul. Paul is indeed a ghost, and he is telling her that he's after her for revenge for killing him. And she has no recollection of killing him, and he doesn't really remember a lot about how he died. So yeah, she offers to help him, figure out how he really died, as a kind of a peace offering kind of thing, and he agrees to do that. She tells her boyfriend Bud about this, and he basically calls her crazy. She goes to her best friend Della, and she doesn't tell her about him being dead, but she tries to figure out like how he died and all this stuff. This leads to her going to either her cousin or her best friend, Della's cousin or best friend, and she says, "Oh yeah, there's somebody that died," but it turns out to be somebody else completely. So yeah, her and Bud try to make up, so they go to this place called the Red Heat, which is like a party dance club thing. And as they're out there, they get into another fight, so she leaves and she runs into this parking lot, and this is where the story kind of, in my opinion, falls apart. She goes out and she actually sees Paul, who the ghost, and he's with some friends, but he's very much alive. He's not a ghost. So she doesn't really know what's going on, and I don't want to spoil anything because this is like kind of like a mild twist in the middle. So I'm not really going to say much, but I didn't like the reveal of what Paul actually is or was or anything like that. It didn't make a lot of sense. Logically, it was just, I mean, I guess this has happened in other books. I can't really give away too much, but I just didn't like it here. I would have rather kept it very simple as a ghost story, but no. Yeah. This book did have like a little bit more of a mature, like tone throughout the whole story. There's a scene like probably like in the first chapter or so where, no, it was like later on, maybe 3 or 4 chapters in or something. But anyway, she's driving and Paul appears in the passenger seat, and she ends up running, getting scared. So she runs into the guy in front of her in a car. He gets out and asks her, is she stoned or something? Which is crazy because that's like a direct drug reference, and that's the only one I can think of in Fear Street. I could be missing over some, but like that's the most bold statement of drugs. And there's also towards the end, there is a scene where she's getting dressed or getting undressed, and she says that, I wonder if the ghost is here or whatever. She's like, that's kind of exciting, and I was like, what? But yeah. Yeah. Haunted wasn't one of my favorite books. I thought it was okay. Like the thing of what Paul is was just not for me. I did enjoy like the first half of like her trying to figure out like, you know, how did he die and like where did he come from, you know, what's going on. But yeah, Haunted for me, I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't think it was a super amazing book or anything like that. Um, but yeah, and if my voice sounds kind of different, I think allergies are getting to me again, so apologies for that. Probably should have said that at the beginning of the video, but you know what? Yeah. But yeah, Haunted gets a 3 out of 5 stars for me. Please let me know in the comments below, what did you think about Haunted if you've read it. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks. Bye.